Welcome to the South Fork of the Snake River. I'm about to set off on a 2-day kayak camping trip with a little bit of fishing on the side. This river is known for its trout fishing, and at the boat launch here there are literally dozens of parked trucks and cars with boat trailers, with drift boat trailers. Drift boats all the way down. This is one of the premier trout, oh, there's my kayaking stuff. This is one of the premier trout fishing waters in the country. And so it's pretty crowded right now. Most people just do day floats on this stretch of the river, but I'm gonna camp. And I'll talk about that more once I'm actually on the river, but for now, let's get ready to go. Here's my stuff, my trusty kayak, my gear and water and all that good stuff. I'll take this down to the boat launch in one trip, then come back and take the gear and the water on the next trip. All right, we are on the water. It is 11:20. I'm feeling good. So like I said, this is like a major trout stream in the western US. I'm not a traditional fly fisherman like everyone else on the river. I'm a tenkara fisherman. Tenkara is a form of fly fishing made for very small creeks. So it is not at all meant to be used on a big river like this. That doesn't mean I can't try. That doesn't mean it won't be fun to try. This will primarily be a camping trip, a kayaking and camping trip. But I will fish a little bit when I come to a spot that feels fishy. But really the focus is going to be on kayaking. There are just a lot of people fishing the river. I don't really want to jockey for space or anything like that, so I'm just gonna focus on enjoying the water. It's a beautiful day today. It's like 76 degrees. That's the high today, and the low tonight will be like 44. It'll actually be kind of cold tonight. There aren't really rapids on this river. There's one little rapid right before the takeout tomorrow, but otherwise it's basically like this the whole time, with maybe little riffles, but nothing too crazy, which is why I'm comfortable doing this by myself. I've run aground here on purpose to try to fish this little riffle right here, the edge of the riffle here. Let's see how it goes. Well, no luck there. Not terribly surprising. I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to fishing rivers, like big rivers. You can fish little creeks all day, but rivers, no idea what I'm doing. Check out this wall along the side of the river. So my plan is to float 25 miles over these 2 days. Today I'm gonna float like 8. And I'll do the rest tomorrow. There's a bald eagle up in this tree here. It's hard to get a steady image. Apparently there are a lot of bald eagles in this area. There's like a bald eagle sanctuary area that's closed to people for half the year for protecting the bald eagles. All right, it's been a couple of hours since I put in on the river here. Really enjoying it. It's just so peaceful and beautiful. I've stopped on this little gravel island here to rest and to put some sunscreen on and to have some food. Lunch is some sort of trail mix. It's like a superfood trail mix thing, I think. Also, while I was just kind of scouting around here, I scared a pod of fish over here in this little side channel. There were a good 10 fish and they were good size. They were, I don't know, 14 inches and up. So hopefully after I'm done here, I'll get the tenkara rod and try to catch them. Hopefully they'll be unspooked by then. Alright, let's get back on the water. It's getting a little bit later in the day actually. Well, not really. It's 2:30. But I'm just gonna power on through, paddle for an hour or 2 or 3, just cover some ground. It's just so nice to be on the water again. I do 1 or 2 of these kayak camping trips a year. I've done a couple in Utah, 1 in Colorado. This is my first one in Idaho. There are a couple shuttle services that will move your car back and forth for you. I paid $28 to move my car, to have someone move my car this afternoon from where I parked it to where I'm going to be taking out tomorrow. So pretty reasonably priced. Pretty slick. It's like $3 per day to park your car at one of the boat ramps, so I paid $6 for that, and that's it. There's a permit you have to fill out to float the river, but it's free. You basically just say where you're putting in, where you're taking out, and where you plan on camping. All right, we're coming up on my campsite. At least I think this will be my campsite for the night. Somewhere on the right side of the river here. All right, home sweet home. Okay. Beautiful spot. Let's explore a little bit. Gormer Canyon number 2. This is the spot that I said I'd camp at, so we're good there. And this is the tent site. Not super flat, it's kind of sloping this way, but I'll survive. But look at that beautiful view. Just amazing. And the river right here is shallow enough that I can just wade up the side of the river and fish. Looks like there's another trail leading, I'm guessing, into the canyon. I've got another couple of tent sites here overlooking the river. One here and one over here. Again, neither of them is especially flat. And here's the canyon. The trail keeps going up the canyon here. I might take a walk up there later. Pretty, very pretty. But first let's get camp set up. All right, took about 10 minutes to get everything set up and unpacked. Here's the tent. This is a non-freestanding tent, meaning that it has to be staked out. The corners have to be staked out for it to stand. It's a single wall tent, meaning there's no rainfly and no inner tent. It's all one piece. There's just this waterproof outer layer, and then on the inside there's a mesh around the sides and then a waterproof floor. So the mesh provides the insulation or the ventilation, and then the the roof here provides the waterproofness. And inside we've got sleeping bag, sleeping pad, pillow, and then some clothes and things like my headlamp and batteries. Not much else to mention. I've got my chair. I wish I had brought my little camp table, but I didn't. And the view is just really, really nice. It's not even 4 o'clock yet. It's still pretty early in the day, but I'm happy to just relax here and look at the river, and I think I'll fish now, and I'll show you if I catch anything. I brought a book. I'll show you that later, and I might read that for a little bit. Just excited to have a very relaxing afternoon and evening. Well, it's 7 o'clock now. I've just been hanging out, enjoying myself for the last couple of hours. I started reading a new book. This is just a cheap thriller that I got just for this kind of thing. It was 75 cents at the thrift store, and it's thick enough to keep me occupied tonight and into tomorrow. I fished again. I fished for about 35-40 minutes. Didn't catch anything. I actually haven't seen anyone on the river catch a fish today. I've spooked several, I've seen several fish, but I haven't managed to even get a bite, so might not be worth my effort. But I did see a snake in the water while I was fishing, and that was odd. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a snake in the water. I fish, pretty cold waters, and so it doesn't really make sense for snakes to hang out in these waters, but hey, guess they're everywhere. My food for this trip isn't too terribly exciting. Have some jerky things and some protein bars and some Fritos, and then there's the trail mix that I was eating earlier, and then I ate a peanut butter honey sandwich. And I have basically the same food tomorrow. It's the same food for both days. I think I'm done filming for the day, so I will see you guys in the morning. I'm gonna read and relax and enjoy the view, enjoy the quiet, at least the mostly quiet. There's some private land across the river, I think, and so there are people like making noises and laughing and playing music occasionally and clapping, and could be worse. At least they're across the river and not right next to me. This campsite is the only one in this little section. The others are far up and downstream, so got the place more or less to myself for the night, and I'm looking forward to enjoying it. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Okay. Alright guys, good morning. Didn't sleep super well last night. I was cold. My sleeping bag wasn't quite warm enough. And so from about 3 or 4 a.m. to, I don't know, 7 or 8, I was cold and just not sleeping well. But I survived. All's well that ends well, right? And I read about half of my book last night, so that was fun. And looking at the maps this morning, it looks like I covered about a third of the trip yesterday. So I have 2/3 to do today. Did about 8 miles yesterday, and there'll be about 14 or 15 miles today. Feels nice to be back on the river. It's about 10:30, it's like 10:20 something. And yesterday from the time I put in on the river until the time I took out at my campsite, it was about 4 hours. And that was with like probably an hour and a half of messing around and fishing. So I'm guessing 2.5 hours of paddling. So I have maybe 5 hours of paddling to do today. And today I am going to be mostly paddling. I'm going to do very little, if any, fishing, just because it wasn't super fruitful yesterday, and I'd like to just cover some ground, cover some water this morning. Should be a good morning, should be a good day on the South Fork of the Snake River. This is just spectacular through here. So beautiful. Alright, I figured I should give you guys a tour of my luxurious quarters here. So here is the my main camera. I'm filming on the GoPro right now. This is just attached to a little bendy arm thing with a clamp on it. This dry bag here has my drone in it and some other camera gear. This gray bag here has some items that can get wet. This bag isn't completely waterproof, the fabric is, but the bag itself is not. I have this thing that I made. Mostly I use it as a sun cover for my legs so my legs don't get cooked, but also it's to keep you know, waves of water from crashing in and getting in and soaking me instantly. I'm wearing this this chest pouch that I made. It's going over my PFD, my life vest. In here I've got mostly fishing gear like lines and flies and everything, but also my sunglasses and some more camera gear are in there. And then in the PFD pockets, there are a couple of pockets. One of them holds my Tenkara rod right here, and another one holds most of my spare camera batteries. And then the bag behind me, this orange one here, this big dry bag, it holds basically all of my camping gear. So the tent, the sleeping bag, sleeping pad, pillow, all that stuff is in there, plus food and you know, headlamp, USB battery pack. And underneath this thing, got a water bottle right here, 2 gallons of water up here, 2 big jugs of water, a sponge for getting water out, for bailing water, and then this is a spare paddle, just in case something happens to this main one that I'm using. And then over here is my landing net for fishing. Oh, and one more thing is that I have my phone in a little waterproof pouch around my neck, and I'm using this for navigation. I have downloaded offline maps for this area so I can pinpoint where I am on the river at any given time. Well, I've stopped on this island. I decided to fish one last time, and surprise, surprise, I caught nothing. So it was worth a shot. I had to do it at least one more time. At least I got some good drone footage out of it. But otherwise, we're done fishing for the day. I think I'm only about an hour from the end, hour and a half, something like that. So I'm just gonna pack back up and then power on through to the end. It's been a pleasure to be on this river. It's beautiful. It's really pretty. The weather's been great. It's probably 80 degrees right now, and just really enjoyed being on the water these couple of days. You know, the great thing about kayaking as opposed to hiking is that even when you're not paddling, even when you're not moving, you're still moving. Okay guys, we've got a bald eagle. Again, it's hard to film this on a spinning kayak on the water. All right guys, I'm nearing the end here. I'm gonna put away everything, put away my camera, just make sure everything's tied down, and then buckle up for that last rapid, final rapid. Again, it might just be barely anything. It might not be anything, but in case it is something, I just want to be prepared. Well, that wasn't too bad. A little bit scary just because everything is scary. Any wave of any size is scary in a kayak, to me anyway. Especially in this kayak, which is not a whitewater kayak. This is a $200 kayak from Dick's Sporting Goods. But we made it. Hallelujah. All right, the boat launch, the boat ramp should just be somewhere over here on the left. It's pretty soon after the rapid. All right, we have made it. Home sweet home. All right guys, we are all packed up and good to go. And past me was kind enough to leave a chocolate muffin and some cold drinks for present me, so that was much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed this adventure. I know I did. It's always good to be on the river. It's just a completely different thing to what I'm used to, and it's always enjoyable. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorite part of the video was, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you next time.